Hello students, myself Mrs. Sonal R. Patil, lecturer in biology, KLS Goktepu College of Commerce and Science, Tirakwadi, Belgaum. Students, we all welcome you to our KLS Goktepu College of Commerce and Science. Looking at the present situation, students, we are unable to meet, and because of which we are beginning with the online classes. I'll be dealing with the subject biology. In biology, you have total 5 units. We'll be dealing with the unit 1, diversity in the living world, which includes the first chapter, the living world. Biology is the science of life forms and living processes. The living world comprises an amazing diversity of living organisms. So, biology is the study of living organisms and their processes. The planet Earth has various kinds of living organisms comprising of prokaryotes, eukaryotes, unicellular, multicellular plants, animals, etc., which is called biodiversity. Hence, world is having such a wide diversity of living organisms. So, it can be defined as the variety and variability among living organisms, or it is sum total of species richness. Now, we are using the word living. What is this living? It is difficult to define living beings and their property of life or living. The reason is that there is no single character that differentiates a living being from a non-living being. To define with, we can define the living as a conscious, self-regulated, complex, interacting cellular molecules and cells. Coming to the next with the features of living organisms, it means the characters which will tell you that the organism is living. To begin with, the first character is cellular organization. Cellular organization of body is the defining feature of life forms. So, all the living organisms are made up of cells. So, cell is a basic structure and functional unit of the living organism. Every living being is made up of cells, and these cells may be made up of one or more. So, organisms may be made up of a single cell or they may be made up of many cells. A cell is bound by cell membrane enclosing cytoplasm and nucleus. So, the cell is, you all are familiar with this. So, cell is having what? Cell membrane, which is enclosing cytoplasm and nucleus. In unicellular organisms, the single cell performs all life functions. It functions independently. In multicellular organisms, various levels of organization are there within them. Individual cells may perform specific functions and also work together for the survival of the entire organism. The cells become dependent on one another. So, here you can see organisms are of two types: unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. So, unicellular organisms are the organisms that only have single cell, where the multicellular organisms are consisting of many cells. So, unicellular organisms include amoeba, bacteria, paramecium, whereas multicellular organisms include plants, animals, etc. Second character is metabolism. The biochemical processes that occur within a living organisms in order to maintain life is called metabolism, or the sum total of all the chemical reactions occurring in our body is metabolism. So metabolism is the sum total of all the chemical reactions which are occurring in our body. All plants, animals, fungi and microbes exhibit metabolism. For example, photosynthesis is occurring in plants. Cellular respiration also you can take, and also in animals you can take the example of digestion which is occurring in the animals. So it is also a metabolic process. Both in unicellular or multicellular living organisms, there are thousands of metabolic reactions occurring simultaneously inside the body. So simultaneously they are being occurring. So metabolism is a defining feature of all living beings. It may include anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism is build-up reaction, whereas catabolism is a breakdown reaction. So that is about the second character of living organism is the metabolism. Coming to the next character, nutrition. Preparing and obtaining food is a special feature of living organism or the living beings. So this is the third character. Nextly, growth and development. It is a permanent and irreversible increase. So growth is a permanent and irreversible increase in size of an organism which is accompanied by an increase in dry weight or biomass. It is called growth. So growth occurs due to anabolism being higher than catabolism. Non-living objects like mountains, sand dunes, stones, etc. also grow in size, but this occurs due to the deposition of materials on the surface, such an external growth is called accretion. Growth in living beings is internal. It is internal. In multicellular organism, growth and reproduction are mutually exclusive. In plants, growth is by cell division, or by cell division continues throughout the life. So cells are dividing, it continues throughout the life. Whereas in animals, growth by cell division occurs up to a certain age. Afterwards, cell division is restricted to repair and replacement. In unicellular organisms, cell division is a means of both reproduction and growth. That is about the growth. Whereas development is the sum of changes that occurs in an organ or an organism during its lifetime. So this is also one of the important character of the living organism, growth and development. As you all know, living organisms grow both in plants and the animals. Coming to the next character, secretion. To regulate metabolism, organisms secrete hormones and enzymes. Irritability. A response to external stimuli is called irritability. It is the ability to sense their surroundings or environment and respond to these environmental stimuli, which could be physical, chemical or biological. So this character you can call also as consciousness. So consciousness is the ability to sense the environment. Consciousness also you can write over here. Plants respond to external factors like light, water, temperature, other organisms, pollutants, etc. I have quoted the example of Mimosa pudica here. You can see if you touch the leaves of the Mimosa pudica, they close. Okay, so they are responding to the external stimuli. Here you can see there is a hot pan. Okay, isn't it? Now here it is telling you the response to the external stimuli. The second photograph is also showing the response to the external. The hot pan, you will never hold it, isn't it? You are going to remove your hand as soon as you touch a hot surface. So it is also you are responding to the external stimulus. So irritability is the faculty of responding to a stimulus. It is the property of protoplasm and is shown by all organisms, both plants and animals. Next character, very important character, is the reproduction. It is a biological process in which an organism gives rise to young ones similar to itself. Reproduction is of two types: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Reproduction enables the continuity of the species generation after generation. Reproduction is meant for the survival of the population of species on this earth. Organisms reproduce by asexual or sexual methods, as I told you. Fungi, for example, multiply and spread easily due to millions of asexual spores. So fungi produces spores, and because of which it will reproduce. Whereas if you can see in yeast and hydra reproduced by budding. Hydra has been shown over here. So it reproduces by budding. Hydra will reproduce a small bud appears on the parent body, which will get detached and can develop into an individual organism. So it is an example of asexual reproduction. Whereas if you see in planaria, regeneration is observed in planaria. Here it will regenerate the lost part of its body and becomes a new organism in planaria. Whereas in certain fungi, the filamentous algae and protonema of mosses, they multiply by fragmentation. Unicellular organisms like bacteria, unicellular algae or amoeba, reproduction is synonymous with growth, that is increase in number of cells. So in this chart it has been shown, asexual reproduction has been shown in plants, how it is occurring. And then this is about the onion bulb, potato. These are the types of asexual reproductions occurring in the plants. Coming to the sexual reproduction, you can see sexual reproduction involves male gamete and the female gamete, which will fuse to form zygote, which develops into an embryo, and finally it forms a new organism. So here, so reproduction is of two types: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction, which is a very, very important character of living organism. Coming to the next character, homeostasis. All organisms maintain internal environment under tolerable limits to enable metabolism to continue. So it is also one of the important character. It is homeostasis. Healing and repair. All organisms have the capacity to heal their wounds and repair their injured parts. The next character, excretion. The different metabolic processes in living organisms produce harmful waste products which are thrown out of the body. The process is termed as excretion. Next character is adaptation. Adjustment with changing external environment for better living is called adaptation. It is also important character. And the last character is death. It is the end of life of all living organism. So these are the characters of living organisms, or you can say features of the living organism. The question may be asked for 3 marks or 5 marks? Easily you can answer to this question. So students, will stop here, and in the next class we will begin with the next part of the chapter. Thank you.